Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.
What summer sandals should I wear if I have sesamoiditis? Well, that's a good question. And that's what we're talking about today on the Doc on the Run podcast. Now, if you're out running and you start getting aching pain under the big toe joint right here, it might be one of these two little bones called the sesamoid bones. And the sesamoid bones are one of those things that actually makes me super nervous if you're a runner and you start getting pain and irritation. So I do think it's one of the things you have to take very seriously, even though they seem insignificant. I mean, they're just two little bones the size of kidney beans, but they basically function in the same way that your kneecap does, except you stand on them. And so since they are very small, there's a tremendous amount of pressure going through the sesamoid bones. And once they get irritated and you get them moving in the right direction, they start to calm down and they're healing, you don't want to flare them up with something simple like wearing the wrong shoes. And so I did a call with a woman who had sesamoiditis. She wanted to make sure that it was moving in the right direction. And with summer coming up, she wanted to know what kind of sandals she might be able to wear. Like, she wanted to know if she was doomed to just wearing cushy, ugly shoes. And the short answer is no. However, you have to think about this. Now, with the sesamoid bones, the short story is that flat and flexible is what you should consider the enemy here. So what I mean by that is the flatter the shoes, the thinner the sole, the more flexible the shoes are going to be, and the more you're going to tend to put pressure on the sesamoids. Why? Well, a couple things. So obviously, the thinner they are, the less cushioning material can be inside the shoe. Also, the flatter they are, the more the shoes are going to be expected to bend. I did a call recently with a runner who wore some stylish long dress shoes, and unfortunately, the really long dress shoes create a lever at the end of your foot, and they're really cranking on the sesamoids with a lot of pressure, and that's how he actually got sesamoiditis. It wasn't from running at all. It was from some dress shoes that he wore. And so by the same token, if you're wearing ballet flats, if you're wearing something that's really flexible, every time your heel comes up off the ground and bends the big toe joint, you're actually putting pressure on the sesamoids. So one of the simplest strategies is to wear shoes that are actually not flexible at all, that are very stiff. For example, backpacking boots, like heavyweight backpacking boots. Now, I know those aren't cute sandals, so that's not exactly what we're after here, but it gives you an idea of what will work. If you're wearing really thick, really stiff backpacking boots that are designed for you to wear when you're actually hiking with a heavy backpack, they're going to have a lot of rocker or curvature under the sole, and they're going to be very stiff. So if you pick them up and try to bend them, they won't bend at all. For example, wooden clogs, like if you think about wooden clogs from Holland, well, they don't bend. They're wood, but they have a steep curvature right under where the sesamoids are, and so when you walk, the toe doesn't bend at all. Your foot rolls with the shoe. And that puts less stress and strain on the sesamoids because the sesamoids being embedded within a tendon, when your heel comes up off the ground and you bend it at the toes, you're actually pulling and stretching the sesamoids. And that's part of the problem. So the stiffer the shoes are, the more curvature there is, the better. A good example is like wooden wedges. So in the summertime, if you wear wooden wedges that actually roll underneath you instead of bending, that may be a better choice. If possible, you would also want to do something to create a little padding or cushioning so that it's not a really hard surface if it's really just a true wooden wedge. So that might help, but that might give you some ideas on what might actually be better if you have sesamoiditis. It's summertime and you want to wear something other than clunky athletic shoes or hiking boots. So remember, flat and flexible is the enemy. Find something that has stiffness, that has curvature under the ball of the foot, and hopefully it's a bit more padded, and your sesamoiditis will calm down a whole lot faster. If you like this episode, please like it, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next training.
Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.